3:15 in the morning. The Gulf sky is pitch black and silent. A U.S. stealth aircraft crosses the Iranian border on a flight path that generates no radar return, produces no identifiable electronic signature, and leaves no trace in the electromagnetic spectrum that Iranian ground stations can classify as a threat. Everything about the mission is proceeding exactly as planned. Then an alarm tears through the cockpit. Missile lock. 6 ground-based Iranian air defense batteries have simultaneously acquired the target. The silence of the last 90 minutes dissolves in an instant. There are less than 90 seconds before the first interceptor arrives. And the target, the reason this mission exists, is still ahead. Oghab 44 is not simply a military base. It is Iran's $9 billion strategic insurance policy. Buried inside granite mountains under meters of reinforced concrete and steel, it was designed specifically to survive the weapons America has developed to destroy facilities exactly like it. Its blast-resistant steel doors can withstand direct hits from conventional bunker-busting munitions. Its underground aircraft shelters are capable of housing an entire fighter regiment, with aircraft that can be brought to readiness and launched from concealed tunnel exits without ever appearing on a conventional runway. Tehran built Oghab 44 as the answer to the question of what happens to Iranian air power when surface bases become indefensible. It is the facility that is supposed to survive everything. Tonight, America is testing that assumption, and Iran has been preparing for exactly this moment. The Bavar 373 surface-to-air missile system, Iran's domestically developed answer to the Russian S-400, is the centerpiece of a defensive architecture specifically engineered to lure American aircraft deep into Iranian airspace before closing the trap. The silence of enemy radar is the most tactically dangerous condition for American pilots over contested airspace because it means the targeting systems are not broadcasting, which makes them impossible to locate through conventional radar warning equipment. Iran has used this principle to design a kill zone around Oghab 44 that only activates when the attacking aircraft is already inside its optimal engagement envelope. Off the coast in the Arabian Sea, the flight deck of the USS Gerald R. Ford has been operating in controlled silence. The F-35C Lightning II launched earlier. When the missile lock alert hits the cockpit, the pilot responds immediately with a maximum G defensive maneuver, pushing the airframe to its structural limits as countermeasures deploy. The first American response is the ADM-160M miniature air-launched decoy, a system that broadcasts a radar signature precisely calibrated to replicate the electromagnetic profile of an F-35. Iranian radar operators suddenly face a choice between multiple identical signatures, each appearing as valid as the real aircraft. To resolve the ambiguity, they must increase their radar emissions to build a clearer targeting picture. The moment they do, they expose their exact locations. It is not a solution to the missile threat. It is a technique to force the defenders into a position where they reveal themselves trying to counter it. At 3:22, the electronic battle shifts into a domain that goes beyond conventional radar jamming. High above the Persian Gulf, operating from Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the EA-37B compass call has been holding position at the edge of Iranian airspace. The EA-37B is not a combat aircraft in the conventional sense. It is a flying signals intelligence and electronic attack platform, a supercomputer with wings, designed to locate the electronic architecture of an enemy air defense network and systematically degrade its ability to function. It begins injecting low probability of intercept jamming bands into the frequency-hopping communication chains that connect Iran's radar stations, missile batteries, and command centers. The signal is subtle enough that Iranian operators struggle to detect it as an external attack, yet it progressively degrades the signal-to-noise ratio across the entire network. Iran responds with a countermeasure that demonstrates a level of electronic warfare sophistication that the mission planners had modeled but hoped not to encounter at this intensity. The Bavar 373 stations activate digital reflection, a technique in which incoming electronic signals from American systems are captured, delayed by a fraction of a microsecond, and rebroadcast with modifications designed to confuse the originating system. The effect is that American pilots and operators begin receiving what appear to be their own signals returned to them with subtle alterations, creating the possibility of blue-on-blue identification errors where U.S. aircraft appear to other U.S. systems as potential targets. The electromagnetic environment over the Gulf has become a hall of mirrors. The EA-37B shifts its approach. Instead of attempting to suppress the Iranian radar directly, a contest that the Iranian countermeasures are currently winning, it begins injecting false data packets into the Bayvar 373's targeting computer through the same communication channels Iran is using to execute its reflection attack. The results appear on Iranian screens within seconds. The single F-35C that Iranian operators have been tracking multiplies into dozens of contacts, then hundreds, then more, all moving simultaneously at speeds and trajectories that no aircraft could physically achieve. Iranian operators face a system overload that their training did not prepare them for. Every processing cycle their radar and targeting computers spend evaluating a phantom target is a cycle unavailable for tracking the real aircraft that are closing on Oghab 44 through the gaps created by the digital chaos. At 3:30, Tehran responds to the electronic stalemate with mass. Along the mountain border, cargo trucks that have been positioned along civilian transport routes shed their camouflage covers and reveal container-based drone launch systems, a characteristic Iranian innovation that transforms any accessible road into a tactical launch platform. Hundreds of Shahid-class loitering munitions surge into the sky simultaneously. This is not an uncoordinated mass launch. It follows a precise tactical logic. The swarm is divided into two functionally distinct groups operating in coordinated sequence. The first group, the decoys, fly noisily, broadcasting electronic signatures that announce their presence to every sensor in the operational area. The Arleigh Burke destroyers offshore activate their Aegis systems and begin firing SM-2 interceptors to engage the incoming mass at long range. The F-35Cs, already managing electronic overload on their displays, are forced to commit additional sensor processing power to filtering the drone tracks from other contacts at close range. Every SM-2 fired costs $2 million. Every Shahid drone costs $20,000. Iran is engineering an economic attrition campaign against the most expensive air defense interceptors in the American inventory. While the expensive American missiles are being consumed against cheap decoys, the second group of drones, the strike variants, carrying 50-kilogram high-explosive warheads and operating with minimal electronic emissions, fly low along terrain contours, using mountain shadows and geographic clutter to reduce their radar visibility. They are using the electromagnetic noise generated by their noisy counterparts as cover. Inside the F-35C cockpit, the pilot transmits a situation report that captures the operational reality precisely. The aircraft cannot filter the genuine threats from the swarm. The drones are coming from every bearing simultaneously. The F-15EX Eagle IIs that have been holding at the edge of the engagement zone are not conventional air superiority fighters in this mission configuration. They are flying data processing and ammunition relay platforms. Their ADCP-2 processors are filtering the electromagnetic interference that has saturated the F-35's sensor fusion systems, synchronizing targeting data across the entire formation, and computing firing solutions for weapons that are waiting for a single clear engagement window. At 3:40, Iran deploys its most technically sophisticated countermeasure. Along the granite mountain peaks surrounding Oghab 44, a network of digital radio frequency memory jamming stations activates simultaneously. DRFM jamming is not conventional noise interference. It is a direct attack on the computational architecture that makes fifth-generation aircraft function as combat platforms. Each DRFM station captures incoming radar signals from the F-35s, replicates those signals millions of times with delays measured in billionths of a second, and rebroadcasts them with precise modifications. The result is not a blurred radar picture. It is a picture that is internally consistent but factually incorrect. The F-35 sensor fusion system receives more data than its processors can evaluate against each other in real time. A single real aircraft signature replicates into thousands of phantom contacts. each one carrying a radar return identical to an actual aircraft, forcing the computer to evaluate all of them simultaneously. The algorithmic bottleneck causes a processing failure. The tactical display fills with tens of thousands of red contacts moving in physically impossible patterns. To prevent a complete system crash, the pilot executes a sensor reset, shutting down the active radar entirely. The most capable sensor suite ever installed in a combat aircraft goes dark over Iranian airspace because it has been overwhelmed by false data.